Hi everyone, my name is Muhammad Hamid Khan and today I'm back with another super useful tutorial on topical authority. So today we're going to discuss a very important component of semantic SEO that helps websites achieve their topical authority states in the eyes of search engines like Google. And that component is topical map. Yes, you have heard it right. So today I'm going to share my practical step-by-step approach of creating topical maps by incorporating multiple practical aspects, facets and dimensions to make this tutorial useful so you can apply the same process on your website with the aim of achieving topical authority states in any knowledge domain. So I'll probably break these videos into multiple parts to make them digestible and useful and while being relevant. So I'm sharing my screen and I'm just opening up the Google Sheets and going to start the process from scratch using my brain. So see you there and good luck. Alright guys, so finally we are going to create a topical map from scratch by following the practical approach step by step that I used to follow for my clients. So I've failed many times, it's like more than 100 topical maps I have delivered so far. And it's been like 2 to 3 years I've been learning semantic SEO. So I would recommend if you are new here to semantic SEO and you're just watching this video, I would recommend to watch some tutorials on semantic SEO basics, like how it differs from traditional SEO, what are the main major differences between traditional and semantic SEO, and some masterclass sessions I've also posted on my YouTube channel. So I've just started a YouTube channel as well. It's like I've started it 15 days back, and the channel is very growing, and it's just because you guys are finding my content very useful and giving some good affection and love. So I'm really thankful for that, and I'll try to keep posting some good content based on my practical experience on my YouTube channel. As today video gonna be very practical and from very scratch, I will pick a specific central entity and I'll pick the other components of topical maps like source context, central entity, central search intent, and the core section, outer section, the attributes, and I will do everything from scratch in front of you guys. And this is totally unplanned and random niche I will choose this time. And if you're familiar with me on LinkedIn, you guys probably seen me creating some good content on LinkedIn as well in the form of visuals, and just read them out and just let me know if you found them useful. And if you also you can also let me know that if you want me to create more content in this format, like the infographic or the handwritten format that I just started using. And more importantly, my Facebook is also very active, and I'm posting bunch of good content here, and you guys can see and follow me on Facebook as well. So the goal of my creating content is just helping the community by sharing my practical knowledge. As you guys probably seen me, like I'm doing my private session, private webinars, coaching teams on my systems, and I'm charging good amount of money. But why I am here and giving my knowledge all for free is just you guys deserve it. You guys deserve to read the stuff in a very easy to understand language. So that's why I'm a bridge for you in order to help you grow in semantic SEO. All right, so let's start the topical map from scratch. Just opening up my sheets. All right, so I'm just gonna name this sheet like topical map from scratch, and it's gonna be a very step-by-step process. If you are new here, I would recommend reading some important concepts like query semantics, lexical semantics, frame semantics, and distributional semantics, and some more concepts like types of attributes. And before moving to the types of attribute, I would recommend reading about EAV, the model. I'll explain them in my video as well, but these concepts are very important, so you should explore them on yourself as well. And types of attributes, also some more concepts like noun, verb, relationship, and some more concepts like predicates, perspectives, some more concepts like lexical semantics. In lexical semantics, we have lexical relations like homonym, metonym, etc., etc., so on and so forth. So, first of all, let me make something clear before we move forward, and that thing is the terminologies we're gonna discuss in this video are mainly coming from Google patents or research papers, and number two, they are coming from linguistics, and number three, they are coming from conversion or user experience, or in nutshell, source context, right? So these three are the core components of that will shape the topical map we're gonna create. One, two, and three. So let me break it down. Like Google patents and research paper means the concepts or the terminologies we're gonna apply here practically are basically coming from Google's on research papers, which are written by Google scientists or engineers. Linguistic stuff as well, like I've written like lexical semantics, frame semantics, they are mainly coming from linguistics. So I always recommend my students to learn linguistics, like applied linguistics, like the computational linguistics and the NLP part, how language is relating with machine and how language is a mediator, or you can say a connector of a human language and a machine, how language connects both and how machine understand the language, the text, and how it extracts meanings, contexts instead of words. As semantic SEO, probably you know, semantic SEO is focused on meanings, and it's not just focused on words. Okay, so you have to deal with context. As in linguistics, we have like if analysis types we discuss in linguistics. There are like first of all structural or syntactical analysis. Also, there is like semantic analysis, and in structural syntactic, we have like more morphological analysis that mainly deals with the words, how the words are forming, and in semantic analysis and in structure we have also syntax like grammar, and in semantic analysis we mainly have analysis of the meaning of the sentence, like what actually the meaning is or meaning coming from the sentence. And then some more analysis types like pragmatic, I'm not sure about the spelling, let me google it. Mm, okay, spelling was right. Pragmatic analysis, it's a specific branch in linguistics which is mainly about pragmatic, I mean, the implied linguistics, the implied meaning of a sentence. And some more, if you wanna dealing with some parsing stuff, you wanna maybe go into more advanced stuff like functional analysis or parsing. Mainly, it's being used in computational linguistics. All right. So just I'm breaking things down into components like these, so you can maybe imagine what type of technicalities or what type of features we're gonna cover in this video. So Google patents knowledge like and for the goal, it's the main objective we're gonna cover, like the objective, like the cost, the the cost of what? The cost of information retrieval. First, we have to understand what is information retrieval. Then you have to understand why cost is the biggest challenge or the risk of information retrieval. Sorry, of Google, it's challenge of Google, and more importantly, some more. If we discuss about mainly Google's objective, there are some more like uh, accurate information, relevant information, faster information, okay, and cheaper information. These four things are the backbone of machine or Google. This is what you have to provide. Like you have to provide accurate, relevant, faster, and cheaper information. Accurate means fact checked by SMEs or original information that is validated or accurate. Okay, relevant means what user is searching, is it relevant or not? Accurate thing is accurate, but it doesn't mean that it's relevant with the query user searching on Google. For example, if a user searching on Google, how much coffee you should drink, sorry, drink a day, and gonna make my search specific in Los Angeles, United States, geocode, and I'll just search it on Google. This is the exact answer I'm looking for from Google. How much coffee should I drink? So it's telling that 400 milligram a day. So this is a direct answer. Okay, it doesn't mean the answer who is direct. It doesn't mean that it's relevant as well. For example, if the answer is direct and it's telling that coffee has xyz benefits and coffee is basically the facts, basically coffee is being you can say grown by these plants, grown in these countries, these are direct answers, I mean, but they are not relevant. So having a direct answer is good, but relevant is the main challenge as well for Google. And Google determines the relevancy based on multiple technologies like word to vec, word to vector. This is the proper embedding that most of the in most of my sessions I have explained this specific terminology, and some more relevance TF, IDF. Okay, some more things like engrams, like in terms of co-occurrence, some more collocations, skip gram, dominant word. I mean, these main core things help Google understand the relevancy signals. So there are more technologies as well. These are just I'm sharing for instance. Okay. So first you have to understand the objective of the machine. Why I'm saying all the time that machine is the main dictator, I mean, is the main ruler, you can say, that through which your content will be passed and then it will show up to the users of your target users who are searching basically for the information, and you have the information that you're going to provide, and you have the solution that also help users to make their life easier. And this is why you are live, this is why you have a website, this is why, and this is how you earns money. More on that later, but first let me clear that you have to understand the machine's objective. Machine only wants the accurate and relevant information with some meanings and in a faster and cheaper way. Faster means accessible information in a timely fashion, a machine could understand what your text is saying. Cheaper means if a text basically you have like written 2000 word and just answering the question, very you're delaying the answer and you're just confusing machine like with some jargon, with some contextless words, contextless sentences, contextless phrases, you're not giving the direct answer. You're just actually wasting time for the machine, and which ultimately is wasting cost as well. So cost, time are two main, you can say, biggest challenges coupled with accurate and relevant information. Inaccurate and irrelevant information are these two challenges. So if you understand these core objectives, like the how machine operates, then you're gonna make your topical map very easy and make it very easy to work around these core methodologies or terminologies that mainly coming from search engines. Okay, so if you want me to create a separate video on the terminologies of the semantic issue that coming from Google patents and research paper, just let me know in the comment section and I'll do that. So linguistic stuff mainly about how language works. Language is like about a human understand language in a different way. For every language, for every culture, linguistics differs, the culture differs, the literature probably there are lot of like literature writers, authors. And same goes with linguistics. The people who have worked in linguistics, you have to understand when it comes to English. You have to understand how a basic language is structured, what are the main components, how a text could be parsed or break down into multiple components from top to bottom approach or bottom to top approach. And some more things in linguistics like frame semantics, like lexical semantics, like sentiment analysis, and more terminologies. As you go into a lexical relation, there are more things. Okay, so just giving you the hint that the topical map will be revolving around linguistics as well. And then we're going to focus on business point of view as well. Like if we coupled or we have combined the strategies from multiple from these two parts like Google patents and linguistics, but our topical map is not centered around the conversion or business perspective, and we are not generating the leads, which means there's no benefit at all by spending that kind of cost on creating and publishing the content network on our website. So you have to think from this perspective first, your business model, uh, how you're gonna make the money, then you're gonna drill down or segment your research accordingly. So let's start. Basically, I think this is the intro that I thought that is very necessary. So first of all, this tutorial is all about using the brain and testing the brain on multiple methodologies, researching the unique information and original information, and obviously some facts through some top industry leaders or authority sources, because at the end of the day you have to follow the facts, and there are some websites already that are being indexed or classified by Google in that specific knowledge domain that are serving in a that are serving the Google's objective or helping with Google's objective more better than anyone else. So you have to, at some point you have to follow that website as well to grab, to extract the facts, but you have to rethink, you have to reinvent the wheel as well. So let me start. First of all, there's some components of a topical map. I would like to mention there are mainly components like first source context, number two is central entity, number third is central search intent, and number fourth you can say core section, number fifth outer section. These are, you can say, the main components of a topical map. Further, if you want to drill it down, you can make write root seed node. Sorry, node. And if for node, you're gonna maybe write like typical node or normal node, and quality note. These are very, I mean, the classification is totally up to you how you're gonna proceed or working the topical map. My goal is to give you the top level or maximum in-depth approach of how I think, and then you it's your call which specific aspect or component you pick for your site based on your objectives, based on your business objective. Basically, you have to cater the Google's objective as well, some language, your users' objective as well, but your business objectives as well. So based on your business objective, things gonna change, and based on Google's objective, like in that specific knowledge domain, the trend's gonna if the trend gonna change, then your research gonna change as well. It's not like the same step by step, 1 2 3 4. If you follow the same, you're gonna land up with that kind of outcome as well that one website is getting. You have to change the process somewhere. It's not, I mean, you must be like very sad after hearing this, but yes, it's true. It's true. Okay, so these are some components of a topical map. So if I start with explaining one of them, I mean, maybe you should know them. If know them, let me explain. Source context, basically how you earn money, the primary focus of your business, why you need to show up in the SERP, your brand identity, your brand signals, that would drive from this. And source context is very important. Defining source context, without defining, you cannot even think about like publishing the commercial pages. Source context is like a contextual flow that Google understand how your business operates. And if Google understand how this specific website operates or earns money, then Google know that this is a proper business. Okay, if there's no source context mentioned anywhere on your website, like contact us, like about us pages or the home page, Google will think that this is just like another AI website who's just publishing content on scale, low quality content without any providing some helpful or original research in the form of content. So source context, you have to define it for yourself as well, but more importantly for Google as well. Like which specific phrases, which specific you can say USP, which specific outcomes or benefits you are targeting on your website in the most important boilerplate elements. Boilerplate mean the menu, or if I write healthline, boilerplate means the header or footer, the content that remains same throughout the site. Basically, this is a boilerplate. So what you do basically, you reflect your source context or your main attribute, your main engrams, your main central search intent throughout these sections. So basically, Google knows that these things are static on every page, and this website is definitely should be ranked, or this website should be getting more visitors similar to what this website has mentioned on in its boilerplate. So source context should be mentioned explicitly on the commercial pages, like the home page, like the category pages, like the product pages, in the footer as well, in the contact us about us pages, so user can convert transparently after knowing what your business is about. But your topical map, the content marketing pages, like the root, seed, and nodes, like 200, 300, how many, it totally depends how many pages you're going to publish. The central search intent is going to reflect throughout your topical map, and this is very important. I'll explain it when we move towards central search intent. So source context is basically how you earn money, your monetization model. So let me now think about a specific example to in order to start from here. And we're gonna you can say we're gonna start with it could be like source context. First you think about anything that's popular. I mean, there's some health niches, and okay, so let's start with apartments. I mean, apartments is something that I believe is the very important business model. But this is not business model. We have to specify like renting apartments, and with renting it could be renting or leasing, like this. There's a difference between leasing and renting. Renting basically for short term contract, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Leasing is like 1 year contract, a specific, but on rent as well, like complete 1 year contract. So yeah, there's a difference, I guess. So renting, leasing apartments. Um, so I'm thinking to make it more sharp, the source context, to make it very specific. So I should know that how I'm gonna approach my topical map. This is not enough. Like all the apartment site could have this specific source context. So let me make it renting, leasing apartment for, I mean, by earning commissions. Sorry, earning commissions uh, through landlords and tenants. Just let me check the spelling right. Yeah, spelling are right. Okay, renting, leasing apartments, and um, and okay, let me make it like earning money, earning by renting, leasing apartment, earning commission by renting, leasing apartment to between or landlords and tenants. I think this is more specific now. Earning commissions by renting, leasing apartments between, or you can say by connecting or dealing with, operating with landlords and tenants. Landlords, someone who's providing the apartment, the owner of the apartment, and tenant is who's willing to onboard, like to get on right. Okay, so central entry from this is explicitly mentioned, which is apartment. You probably also asked like why we are not going for landlords or tenants. I mean, landlords could have its specific attributes, and it's a good thing that in our topical map we're gonna cover landlord attributes, landlord context, but landlord context in the context of apartment, not landlords. Landlord could be anyone, landlord of a farmhouse, landlord of a any property. So we're gonna make apartment as the umbrella, and in that umbrella we're gonna cover landlords, tenants. These could also be main nouns or the entities within our central entity, as I will uh, explain it further. So apartment is the, I believe, should be the central entity around which our topical map should be created. So let me validate my central entity on by searching on Google. Is Google getting this or familiar with this entity or not? Or this is just, you can say, a topic, or maybe just not very popular. So because mainly users search apartment for getting rent or getting in, uh, yeah, mainly for rent. So I will maybe write some apartment wikipedia.org. So okay, yeah, this is what I was looking at. Wikipedia.org. If Wikipedia has a page on a specific topic, which means that's a popular, or you can say, yeah, a popular entity within a specific subject. Subject something could be real estate, yeah, finance. Okay, okay, more real estate is more accurate here. Okay, so yeah, the article is mainly about the type of housing for other uses apartment disambiguation. Okay, this is not what I was looking for. An apartment or flat. Okay, flat is another word for apartment, or unit. Okay, unit another word for apartment, but it has mentioned that North American English use apartment, British, Indian, South African use flat, and Australian basically use unit. Okay, units, and is a self-contained housing unit, a type of residential real estate. Residential for like not commercial, that occupies part of a building, right, and generally on a single story. Okay, makes sense. There are many names for these overall buildings. See below. Okay, now the names of buildings could be okay. The housing tenure of apartments also varies considerably from large scale public housing to owner occupancy within what is legally a condominium starter title or common hold to tenants renting from a private landlord. See leasehold estate. So yeah, this is the actual definition of an apartment, and I've like got everything within a single paragraph about the main context or themes of like this entity could not be defined with these contexts. These are the prominent attributes or contexts or nouns or derived entities through apartment. For example, building is basically, you can say, apartment entity. That if we're gonna like write on apartment, we're gonna also cover buildings attribute. So yeah, let me write it down here. So first of all, apartment is or selective entity. I mean, we're gonna choose this entity based on the available information. As you can see, page is very, very, very beefy. It's very covered with lot of entities, attributes. So we're gonna dive in that later. Okay. So first of all, let me write some research uh, journey, or you can say research components. Yeah. First of all, entities, can say, like the main entities within our central entity. What are the main entities we're gonna that user is searching for and that are very relevant? So first of all, I would write down the entities, the drive entities from the start. Okay, so flat, number one is flat, number two unit, building, uh, and landlord, tenant, and lease, rent. I think these could also be used as an entity. Rent could also be used as an entity. By the way, rent is or and lease both are verbs, but they can also be used as an entity. Okay, yeah. So real estate, very important entity. Some more entities like mm, maybe private landlord. Some more like uh, housing tenure. Uh, I mean, these are the core entities that our topical map would be talking about. Yeah, housing unit we have covered unit, but okay, unit is maybe yeah. So yeah, residential real estate. This is what we have to cover. Residential, not commercial. This is we have to separate residential. We have to cover the attributes that define the residential housing or unit or yeah, sorry, or maybe residential housing, and here we can take the part residential or housing unit. Okay, so this is how we're gonna like now start our approach. We're gonna pick the major entities or the prominent entities that without those entities we cannot define apartment. If I also write on Google what is an apartment. So basically, you have to be careful if you trying to rank in a specific region or country. You have to search in that region. It's always preferable. Okay, so apartment is a building function, and apartment flat unit is a self-contained housing unit. Self-contained housing unit. Okay, that occupies part of building generally on a single story. Story could also be a good thing for us. There are many names for these overall buildings. We have covered buildings, I guess. Yeah. Another definition saying an apartment is a residence that's part of several residential buildings or separate dwelling within a house or so on. Okay. An apartment is a residence that is a part of one or separate dwelling within a house and entrance bathroom. Okay. Now we are getting some more entities. Entrance, bathroom, kitchen. Mhm. And I would make my query more clear or more like what an apartment includes: internet, air conditioning, AC, kitchen appliances, maintenance, natural gas. Okay, some more things like parking, some more like storage, some more like. So I'm like writing them as a representative, not like natural gas, like parking, like storage, and electricity. I mean, these are the core things that make an apartment. Make sense? I mean, without these things, an apartment couldn't exist from user's perspective as well, and from dictionary's perspective as well, like the lexical relations. Security, laundry, security, laundry, and uh, okay, trash. Some more thing like washer or dryer, and utilities. So you have to give them an order as well. I think it's always good to give some order. So appliances, I think in general it should be there, not just kitchen, maybe some overall. So it's not totally up to you how you gonna like what in what depth or how deep you're gonna go. It's totally your call. If I'm here, I would like maybe get up to 100 even, and then I will decide which is the most, which 10 or 20 are the most important. Then I'll prioritize, and there are some important criterias of prioritizing the information we're going to research. So in research components, we have to research the entities. I mean, you can also say that nouns. I mean, nouns as well. If you search nouns separately, that would be also great. But noun are also needs to be there. Some verbs and some predicates, some attributes, some. If you can also maybe write some perspectives, some search consideration, and and some. Okay, also some attributes, verbs, predicates, nouns. Maybe you can also write some context terms, or you can say some contexts, simple words. Contexts are something like laundry maintenance, jobs, for example. I mean, if you are like researching information and you are finding that, hey, this context is very important. When we cover apartment, we have to cover this context as well somewhere within a page, uh, within a page, by connecting multiple sections or having a separate page on that context. I mean, it's totally, we'll decide that later, basically, that if we need separate pages or we need one page. So what you have to do, if you're like researching information, you can also, there are like two things. I mean, the two approaches for researching information. One is if you go step by step, like if you only focus on uh, extracting or copying the entities but not focusing on the other things like at the same time. But other thing could be like if you follow one process, if you do one query on Google and get all the entities, then predicates, find on the same page, then find perspectives on the same page. I mean, it's totally up to your call. But I would prefer step by step as well. Like first grab all the entities and then move to the next components. So a context could be just I mentioned that any topic or any behavior of the users. So, okay, so first we have to research this information, and now I'm going to tell you the exact, or at least the sources from where I get information about these things. And again, these are very, very private thing that I do not share with anyone. But as promised with you guys, this video gonna be very practical as well as some worthy knowledge. Okay, so first of all, let me research sources. And this is just about searching these, not all research sources of a topical map. Again, so first of all, one could be search suggestion. Sorry, search suggestions. More could be query templates or patterns. Sorry, patterns. More could be SERP main page, some dedicated pages like Wikipedia. And I would recommend not just focusing on one page of Wikipedia. I mean, if you go to Wikidata, for example, mhm, wikidata.org, and if you write your same entity that you searched on Wikipedia on, now you write on Wikidata, I mean, it will give you the more structured pages as well, like that are related with apartment. So you don't have to like maybe, I mean, this will be a good starting point, like apartment building, like a residence. So this is what I'm trying to say. Um, Residence. So if residence is coming in, for example, an attribute as well in noun as well, just you can say you can make it unique as well, because it's not good that if you put it uh, in all, I mean all the subsection. Okay, so apartment building, some more you can say. hmm, okay, so it's defining that category apartment. Okay, if you open this page and what you see here, some, if you can maybe get some subcategories of apartment. No. Okay. Okay, just let me get back to the page. Apartment houses. Okay, as you can see there, there's a complete database about apartments. uh, Let me start from the page. Also known as dwelling. Yeah, we have missed this. So yeah, so somewhere you're gonna find it again. And housing, subclass, apart, and interior. Yeah. Hmm. Also, what I'm thinking, if you can grab the other pages that are being published on Wikipedia or Wikidata related to apartment, that would be very win-win situation. For example, if you can maybe go into deep, you can see the category apartment. Okay, so you can also see some more links like real estate development, real estate. So the parent category is real estate, then apartment. So, but in specific category of apartment, yeah, this is what I was saying. So in apartment, there are subcategories like apartment buildings, like apartment types, only apartment, Borgia. Okay, I don't know what is that, but maybe it's something that you need to cover as well. But by checking this page, sorry, by checking this topic, flat, yeah, Glasgow floor, kitchenette, and then apartment is basically a subcategory of housing. Now, if you go to housing, I mean, common category link from Wikidata. Okay. Now, if you go to housing, you can see, yeah, public housing. You can see which attributes or which specific subcategorization of housing is also related with apartments. Probably not all, but yeah, 90% of them may be related to housing, like build to rent. Again, it's relevant. Like household, housing insecurity. Yeah. So again, if you go one more level up like residential building, I mean, this is now your approach, like how deep or in depth you're gonna go. So you can maybe get some like more sub classification or subcategories of your related apartment. The main, you can say, the it's in simple words. If I go to one tool, you maybe understand what I'm going to say. If you write here apartment, and this tool, I mean, got to know, maybe I don't know who is the actual owner of this tool, but one of my good friend, which is Noman Khan, thanks to him, he introduced me this tool. So it's a very good tool to understand the relationships between multiple entities or pages created on Wikipedia. It's just populating data from Wiki, if I'm not wrong. But you can maybe understand a good relationship here, like apartment is the parent here, then tenement is a type of building shared by multiple dwellings. Yeah, and it's the, you can say the border width of the line determines how big that specific tile is in terms of the importance. Okay, so you can see maybe by, I mean, checking all the Boulevard Gardens. I don't know what is that. It's a specific venue in Queen, New York. So now it's up to you. Basically, you need to get, yeah, real estate, housing in India, property management. Okay, so yeah, these are the shared. I mean, these are the ontologies basically with their shared attributes. And as probably you know that we have two things in semantic history. One is ontology, what two is taxonomy. Taxonomy. Okay. Ontology is basically the entities, all the entities, or you can say the study of entities, how they're linked with each other using the shared attributes. And taxonomy is basically in which hierarchy they're linked in. The parent child, for example, if Australia is, you can say, a country, and there are like six states, probably like South Australia, NSW, New South Wales, Queensland, etc. So for example, in South Australia, there's like city Adelaide. So these entities are connected with each other without any doubt, but they have some certain type of taxonomy as well, like which entity is or is linked with then which, and which is the derived entity of which entity. I mean, this is the relationship, the hierarchy, the taxonomy, the categorization of the entities, relationships. This is the field which is called taxonomy. And ontology is simply how entities are connected with each other through the shared attributes. An entity, if it's not parent of this entity, but they have some common attribute that they could be associated, or a relationship could be formed, that this is the study of, you can say, that we normally say ontology. Okay, so this is two things you have to focus on. So these are the ontologies, and you have to maybe get some data here, I mean, which is more relevant to you, like garage apartment, yeah, some more things like studio apartment, room, some more things like KitchenAid. Yeah, I think probably getting the idea how what I'm trying to deliver. Okay, so once again, these categorization of Wikipedia, Wikidata help you understand the taxonomy as well as giving you all the entities. So you have to what you have to do now. You have to grab all the entities from these sources. Then you have to put them in a specific taxonomy, like as mentioned here. Then you have to connect these entities with each other. For example, in housing we can also connect some room entity and with some shared attribute. So this is the next job you have to do. So also this is how you research information. And more sources could be, you can say, main serve page. I mean, this is the main serve page where I've written the query. um, yeah, if I write here just okay, what is apartment is fine. If I write here what is an apartment, I can see building function. So this is the main page, I mean, from where you can get information. I mean, first part was, as mentioned here, is search suggestions. Like if you just write here apartment and then write without any further word, you just give space, you're probably getting some good search suggestions. And if you have like tool like SEO stack that will maybe save your time, just give the same entity. The SEO Quake will not sorry Quake SEO SEO stack, maybe if I'm not wrong, that will give you all the search suggestions, not just these seven, eight, or 10, but in terms of hundred or thousand that Google through Google databases or through multiple sources like YouTube, even like the Bing, etc. So you can maybe probably use that tool SEO stack and get all the patterns or the suggestions around your entity, central entity. If not, then you can maybe take a screenshot from here. Just okay, just take screenshot, go to the sheet, paste it here, and just write it down. I mean, in search suggestion, you maybe probably start writing like apartment. As you can see, apartment is in all search suggestion. Just make it like this for rent, then finder, then near me. Again, near me is not important. Then you can maybe cut it down. List. Sorry, list. Okay. I mean, this is how you approach this part. Then query template pattern means you figure out some important prepositions or conjunctions. For examples, for could be very important, like apartment for. Then you can maybe write some apartment with, apartment in, apartment to, apartment of, apartment versus, apartment around, apartment more, you can say, maybe you can find through Google like the proposition of the conjunctions, maybe and again these things are coming from linguistics. And now these things are basically, you can maybe these things you have to understand from search queries perspective, like how users are searching for information. Like if you write the apartment and you write for, you can maybe get all the uh, data, like the query template. This is actually, we say, query template or pattern which user is searching. I mean, this is a template. Okay, so you probably use multiple query templates at the same time, and you get all the information. Then, and these information are actually coming from query semantics. So before moving forward, I think it's now important to basically um, uncovered these four important concepts. Query semantics is basically, there are like multiple types of semantics when we do semantic SEO, like and okay, more semantics as well, like simultaneous semantics, annotational semantics, structural semantics, and the list goes on. But these four, I think, believe are very important here. Query semantics is basically focused on all the uh, queries understanding and queries, basically definitions, understanding how queries are connecting with each other, how users are searching information on Google around that particular subject. I mean, query session logs, query context understanding, which is the which word is has the more weight in a query. For example, the canonical queries, the correlative queries, the query paths, sequential queries, and multiple things as well. I mean, it's all about studying how users are searching information in the form of queries and how those queries are, you can say, basically reflecting or basically representing a certain type of search intent. It's all about the behavior of users. And then lexical semantics, I mean, about the dictionaries, how the semantic similarities, basically, or you can say the semantic closeness, how two concepts or entities are close to each other. It's not necessary that if two things are close to each other in terms of semantic similarity, they could also be relevant. Relevant thing, semantic relevance is something very other thing, and that probably comes from users' behavior, like in query semantics. But in lexical semantics, we only discuss how things are close to each other, and in terms of the relationships. Relationships could be have multiple types, like synonym, like antonym. You probably read about those two, but there are more than those two, like holonym, homonym, polyseme, meronym, hypernym, hyponym, more again in that list as well. So what you do basically, you get all the relationships and around your specific context or central entity or your main entity or theme for which you're gonna cover your content or you build your topical map. Then you connect those lexical relationships with each other by following some patterns and by connecting with query semantics as well. Then the frame semantics is about, you can say, is covering information and all the relevant concepts within a specific frame of information. For example, if someone like, I mean, the sell word someone couldn't understand without knowing the concepts about money, transactions, buyer or seller, for example. So in order someone to understand or to help understand the concept of sell, he must know about money, transactions, checkout, etc., buyer, seller. So this is the whole frame that actually uh, helps a person understand a specific concept. So this is the same way Google works. I mean, from a user perspective, if you're covering on one thing, you have to cover from the back end the previous history of that thing as well, for the sake of users as well, because users probably have interest in learning those things as well in that specific frame, the multiple conception that ultimately giving one specific outcome of in the form of concept. So you cover multiple concepts as well from users perspective as well, because users might be searching for related activities. Their related activities could be in frame semantics, and also to satisfy the machine's score that you are subject matter expert and you're covering all the relevant entities, etc. Or you can say the important concepts around your specific central entity, and you're just not focusing on the volume, the keywords that are more volume, the keywords that are being searched in a specific time, in a specific within specific, I mean, a pattern. So you focus on the theme instead of a single phrase. Distribution semantics, I mostly say that is a basically analysis, or you can say a study of how documents are constructed, how machine understand meaning or extracts context from a document by understanding the multiple components of a document. And for example, understanding the relevancy, identifying the relevancy of the document, understanding the context through a document, connecting those contexts through each other, understanding the most commonly used entities and how entities are linked with each other, what are the attributes that connected those entities. Furthermore, what are the more predicates, the adjectives, which nouns are more popular in this page, which verbs of use, And again, everything in terms of lexical relationships as well, how queries are being targeted on the page, because search engine's goal is to match queries with the document and then match documents with the users. So this is how Google clusters these three things in a knowledge domain and satisfy the user's intent. I mean, things gonna be very lengthy if I start. I mean, go deep into specific topic, but our goal is to, I mean, these things are very basic, so I have to explain them before we move forward. Distributional semantics is basically understanding or the behavior or study of documents, how documents are constructed, and how Google is determining the relevancy based on the word-to-vec model, for example. Because search engine embed those, embed those real words that we see on screen into vectors before and then process them further to identify the relevancy and then connect them with each other based on their attribute. Then n-grams, co-currents, collocation, sorry. So, and more things like skip dominant words. So TF-IDF is also top frequency inverse document frequencies. I would probably think that it's an outdated technology, but not Google not using this much. And n-grams are simply like unigram, bigram, trigram. The words how many times, like one word is used. I mean, which specific word has more dominant dominance in a specific page. Bigram means two words. Diagram three words. Concurrence how two words are frequently occurring together in a specific context. Google determines as Google has crawled or indexed billion and trillion of pages, maybe probably on a specific topic or context. Google identifies basically compare your concurrences with those documents and match them and compare them that hey, these two words are being used on billion more pages as well, and they are talking about this specific context or thing. Probably Google give you a hint as well or get some idea that you also be talking about this. Google understand context, right? And relevancy and collocation are basically two words that come adjacent, like day and night, like run faster, like fast food. I mean, they come next to each other. They do not have any break in terms of word, another word. But concurrence could have some break. So that's the difference between collocation and concurrence. Script web domainers, by the way, I'm creating good content on LinkedIn as well. Maybe you can read my specific posts that I've been couple multiple times. I've been like writing detailed tutorials or posts on LinkedIn. Like on skip gram dominant words, I've also written a post that, okay, let me find it quickly. So my goal is to make things very practical for you, as you maybe have examined my approach. It's a very practical approach. If there's some feedback, do let me know. I'm very open for more suggestions, and I have no issue in learning new things from you guys. Okay, okay, good. So skip gram dominant words, if I can find here. I think not right now. I mean, show all posts. Hmm, it's like 1:40 a.m. and I haven't slept more than 20 hours, and I've been just here, sitting here, creating some content. And I hope you guys will find it helpful. Okay, so let me find the skip gram dominant words in a very. So basically, skip gram dominant words are the words basically that is basically a technique or technology used by many machines or algorithms to predict the next word or the missing word in a specific context based on the training, like how much they've been fed with the data. It's like technology used by machines to understand based on the data they have been fed, like which word could possibly come in that specific context. As you can see, the cat stood, laid, ran, ate, drank, slept on the mat. So sat is the most, you can say, number of times it's been used many times by people, like in the documents the machine which have been fed, which means this is the most common word used in this specific context. So basically they are used for word sense disambiguation, document summarization, keyword extraction, information retrieval, and more. So if you want to read more in detail, you're gonna maybe read my post and you're gonna enjoy it definitely. So I think I'm ending this video here because it's not possible to cover the whole topical map in one video. I have to break it down into multiple components. So this is what for today, and the first video is basically about the setting some foundation and setting, and again we started creating a topical map, and leaving now up to you. You guys maybe research it yourself, and if you want me to create more parts on this tutorial on topical map, you know the topical map is one of the most premium product that I actually sell, and now you can imagine I'm revealing my process step by step. Could you even imagine that I'm revealing my most or top selling product, and this is the reason. I mean, this is the main, we can say that I love this specific industry and I love you guys. So again, I have no issue spreading the knowledge. Just give me I mean good thumbs up, good feedback, and good engagement, that if you are loving my content and want me to create more videos like this, then do let me know, and I'll sit next time very soon and I'll start from here and I'll create another video. So see you soon. Take care, everyone, and hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment below. Any kind of question, no problem with that. And thank you so much for your time once again. Bye.